Oscilloscopes, unveiling the invisible. An oscilloscope is basically a graphical voltmeter. A multimeter gives you one number at a time, a static snapshot. But an oscilloscope shows voltage over time, which means you can see shape, noise, ripple, glitches, dropouts, and history. In real troubleshooting, that's the difference between "it seems fine" and "here's the exact moment it fails." The oscillograph legacy. Before digital scopes, engineers literally recorded waveforms with moving paper and a pen mechanism. The key idea hasn't changed. The vertical direction shows voltage magnitude, and the horizontal direction shows time moving forward at a constant speed. Modern scopes replace paper with a screen and electronics, but you're still watching the same story, voltage changing through time. The probe is an active component. A scope probe is not just a wire. It's part of the measurement system. The probe has shielding for noise protection, a ground reference clip, and often a X1, X10 switch. In X10 mode, the probe attenuates the signal by a factor of 10, which helps protect the scope and reduces how much the probe loads the circuit. In practical terms, X10 is often the safer, cleaner default unless you truly need maximum sensitivity. The vertical system. Sensitivity and coupling. The vertical controls answer, how tall is this signal on the screen? DC coupling shows the whole truth. The steady DC level plus any ripple on top. AC coupling blocks the steady DC level, so you can zoom in on the small AC ripple riding on a large DC offset. That's incredibly useful for things like power supply ripple. You stop wasting screen space on the big DC value and start seeing the tiny bad behavior. The horizontal system, time and frequency. The horizontal controls answer, how fast is time moving across the screen? This is your time base, seconds per division. Once you can see a full cycle clearly, you can measure its period using the grid, then convert that to frequency. The magic here is simple. Fill the screen, then measure. If the waveform is tiny or cramped, your measurement accuracy suffers. The problem of motion. If the scope just sweeps over and over without synchronization, the waveform smears and drifts. It looks like a mess because each sweep starts at a random point in the cycle. A good mental model is a strobe light. If you flash the strobe at the right moment every rotation, the spinning fan freezes. That's what triggering does for waveforms. Stabilization via triggering. Triggering tells the scope when to start drawing each sweep. You set a trigger level, a voltage threshold, and usually a slope, like triggering on the rising edge. Now every sweep begins at the same point on the waveform, and the display becomes stable and readable. No trigger equals chaos. Proper trigger equals truth. Trigger modes and transients. Auto mode is the safety net. If it can't find a trigger, it still draws something so you're not staring at a blank screen. Normal mode is stricter. It won't draw until the trigger condition is met, which is great for intermittent events. Single sweep is the trap. It captures one event and freezes, perfect for catching brief transients like a switch bounce or a one-time glitch. Reading the grid. The grid is your measurement ruler. Volts per division sets vertical scale, and seconds per division sets horizontal scale. From the grid you can find peak-to-peak voltage and period, then compute frequency. Even if your scope has automatic measurements, learning the grid makes you dangerous in the best way, because you can sanity check what the scope claims. Critical safety, the ground trap. This is one of the most important lessons in oscilloscope life. The probe's ground clip is tied to earth ground through the scope's power cord ground. That means if you clip the probe ground to a hot point that isn't earth ground, you can create a direct short to ground. Sparks, damaged probe, damaged circuit, maybe worse. The rule: treat the probe ground clip like it's a hard connection to earth ground, because it is. Safe differential measurement. Sometimes you need the voltage across a component that isn't referenced to ground. A safer method is to use two channels. Measure each side relative to ground, then subtract one channel from the other using the scope's math functions. That gives the voltage across the component without moving the ground clip into a dangerous place. This is a big deal in power electronics and industrial troubleshooting. Dual trace and phase shift. With two channels, you can compare timing between two signals. Phase shift is simply a time delay expressed as part of a cycle. If one waveform peaks later than the other, it's lagging. If it peaks earlier, it's leading. This becomes extremely useful when you're looking at reactive circuits, motor drives, sensors, and control signals that must line up correctly. Beyond time. XY mode. XY mode removes time from the picture. One channel drives the vertical axis and the other drives the horizontal axis. The resulting shape tells you relationships like phase shift or frequency ratio. Straight line often means in phase or 180 degrees out of phase. Ellipses and circles suggest phase shift, and more complex shapes can reveal frequency ratios. It's like turning two waveforms into a geometric truth machine. Visualizing component personality, curve tracing. A scope can even help visualize how components behave. A resistor shows a linear relationship. Current increases proportionally with voltage. A diode is nonlinear. Almost nothing happens until the forward threshold is reached, then conduction rises sharply. Curve tracing is a powerful way to see the difference between linear and nonlinear without getting lost in equations. The digital trap and the pilot's checklist. Digital scopes sample signals, and sampling can lie if you're not careful. If the sample rate is too low compared to the signal frequency, aliasing can make the waveform appear slower or distorted. Basically, the scope draws the wrong story. So end with a pilot-style checklist. Confirm the ground clip is safe. Confirm the probe attenuation setting matches the scope setting. Adjust volts per division and time per division to fill the screen. Lock the trigger so the waveform is stable. That checklist prevents most beginner disasters. And as always, huge thanks to Tony Coupault and the open source community for making high-quality instrumentation learning resources freely available. They've helped train a whole generation of techs and engineers.